Basketball is one of those games that any kid, regardless of what size you are, regardless of what country you are, there's almost everything that you can do by yourself to make yourself a terrific player. Little kids have a vivid imagination, and that imagination and the ability to see themselves get better, some people have great courage, personal courage, and even little kids, if they miss 10 straight shots, they're going to get discouraged very quickly, but some kids won't. And I like to think I was one of those kids who didn't get discouraged when things didn't go right.
And persistence pays off. Jerry West became a master of the most elusive and beguiling skill in the game of basketball, the jump shot. Since he retired, the game has evolved in many ways, but no one has taken the jump shot to a higher level.
Every shot is a kind of act of perfection. I mean, you know, you have to put the ball through this from any angle, with your body turned to it in any angle, and when you first start doing it, I mean, you miss all over the place. I mean, it really looks hard. It is hard. And when you begin to master it, it feels so wonderful, and you feel, at least in that spot in your life, in control of something. You learn a great deal about the beauty of doing it right, just right. There's a zest for perfection. That's really quite beautiful.
But this art, and it can be called nothing less, took a long, long time to evolve. It started low, professional basketball, which had been with the game in a variety of forms almost from the beginning, finally began to achieve wide acceptance in the United States in the late 1940s. The Minneapolis Lakers were the glamour team at the beginning of the modern pro era, winning 4 of the first 5 NBA crowns. They were led by George Mikan, voted the greatest player of the first half of the century. The most devastating weapon in his arsenal was the hook shot. The obvious attraction of the hook is the difficulty in blocking it. Mikan was capable of shooting with either hand, which made him particularly tough to stop.
Mikan making merry on the court.
The hook was used widely by all sorts of players during this era. Its use wasn't limited to big men either.
There's that hook.
Everybody had a hook. But as the game speeded up, more shots came in the open court and on the move, and the hook fell out of favor. Until it was brought back with a vengeance, with what his coach, Pat Riley, would come to call the greatest weapon in sports. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar institutionalized the skyhook.
pravo naručje. Ičanović.
Wherever the game is played, the spiritual center of basketball will always be the jump shot. A child of the flamboyant ABA, the three-pointer has grown to become the ultimate expression of the shooter's art. They say shooting's just mechanical, a system of levers composed of muscles, bones, tendons, and flesh. Well, hardly. Everyone has a jumper, yet no two are the same. It's a skill of the individual mind as much as it is of the body. In your face, a statement that anyone can understand, lies at the heart of many a jump shot. Yet ultimately, it's physical poetry, a moment of sublime perfection, written in a hand that defies description. A wonderful mystery. As basketball has spread throughout the world, the desire to learn the arts of the game, such as the jump shot, has spread with it. The lesson's an old one. 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration.
Any place on the floor that I got an opening I wanted to be able to score from. So to do that, I had to spend a lot of hours on my own, just repetition. If I was going to practice the jump shot this one particular day, 300-400 jump shots meant nothing because I was going to be out there 2-3 hours. I never had a problem of being by myself on the basketball floor. I had a very vivid imagination. And the one thing that I could do was imagine I was always in a game and a particular shot was the shot that was going to win the game, and I would practice that over and over again.
Great shooters will have this characteristic in common. They will all finish so that their hand is directed right at the basket and the ball comes off the fingertips in reverse spin. And if you look at it in slow motion, the great shooters, as the shot is released, that ball just rotates nicely straight at the direction of the basket. Jerry West had absolute great shooting form, plus being the competitor that he is, he wanted to take the tough shot and had unbounded confidence that he could make it, and therefore frequently did.
2 seconds, 1 second. West throws it